Listen to me right now. Your audience is not your own. You don't own it. If you're a content creator, you don't own your audience. You can't transfer your audience to other platforms, can you? If you get banned on a platform, can you take your audience with you? How are they going to find you? They can't. Your account's been banned. Everything that's going on in the content creation space, everything is all just built on sand.
System activate.
This is NetHeads.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
Transmission incoming from the big giant head.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome. Coming back at you, NetHeads. My name is Will.
My name's Trent.
No, he's not in the 1940s. His microphone is just doing that. Well, guys, let's get into it. I've dropped a pretty big bomb. I'm sure you want to know what I'm talking about and what's been inspired by. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention in the news, but over the previous weekend, other than the fact that our government is openly suppressing the constitutional rights of its citizens and killing them, also what happened last weekend is that an American conglomerate is now the owners of TikTok.
Correct.
And a lot of people are wondering what's going to happen. A lot of people are wondering that potentially because one of the acquisitioners is Oracle, which is owned by Larry Ellison, who is a very right-leaning supporter of the president, which he is perfectly entitled to do as a United States citizen.
Yeah.
But much in the same way that we saw my second highest platform of followers, Trent, X-Twitter, as we saw with X-Twitter, that can very quickly become a dumpster fire that the entire public is going to turn their back on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when that happens,
a joke.
Yeah. So when that happens, what do you do with your audience? How do you move them along? And I know this sounds like a crazy statement, but it's all stemming from the fact that I actually, for some weird reason, have what I would consider for a 55-year-old bald guy who wears glasses, a relatively high following count on TikTok. And I've never been able to translate that to other social media platforms. It's maybe given, actually that's not true. I think the highest place that we were able to raise it was with our YouTube audience. When I was doing giveaways on TikTok and driving them into the TikTok or to the YouTube audience, which, I don't know, is that buying viewers, Trent?
Well, the thing is, like, less than 70% of social media growth, like per channel or whatever, is organic now.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Meaning they were people that like happened upon the page and interacted with it, and their first touch was organic. Touch being like their interaction, their view of the page, whatever. So only less than 7% of growth is from that, which means the rest, 93%, is paid.
Ah, okay. So you're saying that, and now it's interesting that you mentioned that too, because in the scenario I'm talking about, and the reason why I'm so focused on this, I can't translate that audience everywhere. And there are people that, like, with my YouTube following, it is a great place. It's a great way to market, or my TikTok following, great place to try and market to things and to make content. But if I were to say the wrong thing, right, then it could trigger an audience surge of people mass reporting your material. You can get content strikes and you can get banned. I've seen content creators with over 3 million theoretical followers.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat, it's gone.
Like the #1 podcast got pulled from Spotify for a hot while, you know?
Which one was that? Joe
Rogan? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was not aware of that part.
Yeah, it can happen to literally anyone.
Now, and when you look at, I mean, and that's the other thing too, is like, honestly speaking, you're not your follower count. Don't ever be lulled into that draw, that illusion. And I'm not trying to brag when I drop this number when I say there's 147,000 people that follow me on TikTok. I think it's actually 145, pardon me, and a fraction. And that particular audience, you would say, well, if you've got that many followers, then the algorithm must certainly ensure that it delivers your videos to your followers because they're the people that follow you. Well, 145,000 followers. What would you estimate that my average viewing would be on a video I would drop?
Define viewing.
Somebody that has actually sat and watched it for, let's say, at least 50% of the time. Doesn't matter how many asses was it put in front of, because you got to remember with a thing like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, because guys, all of these platforms have a form of this one platform now.
I would say attrition wise, 15,000.
Right, that would make sense. Something like 700 to 1,000 feels a little off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And that's the thing.
I mean, yeah, I don't know because now, and I don't know if other people are experiencing this. I rarely see anyone in my feed that I'm actually following. It's just people that they think I should be following, which means it's people that have paid to let them think that I should be following them.
Right. So you've brought this up twice. So I'm going to try and hone in on what I think it is you're throwing down. So essentially what you're saying is that one way or another, the only time you're going to be seeing things that the platforms are suggesting is because I have, like, let's use YouTube as an example. Okay. If you are a YouTube content creator, you can take your video and you can connect your YouTube account to a Google Analytics account, and you can fully define what it is you want to try and ensure your video gets in front of people for suggestions.
Sure.
And then YouTube will, like, a video is ended, there will be things you could see that. There are things on the right side of the page if you're viewing on the web. So they do things to push that, to drive to that channel, to that video, what have you. That's what you're saying, right?
Well, that, and also I just, people that I'm already following are no longer deemed relevant in my feeds.
Now, why do you think that social media does that? Because
Money.
obviously, money. And it's true, because I will tell you right now that if I have almost any time I push a video onto TikTok, I am within one day while I am using TikTok, I will be scrolling, and it will be, suddenly I will have the jarring effect of myself being in front of me, which I'm not scrolling social media for that. Again, don't know how I have that many followers. But it's because TikTok is saying, hey, you could really promote this, and you could go from these views to those views.
Well, and I think there's just an intrinsic, I don't know whether it suits or whatever, but like, the idea of growth is more appealing than interaction, right? So if you had to report something to your boss or something, and you said, yeah, we maintained this many happy customers, would they be more happy about that? Or we increased by X% this month? I don't know. I think there's just such a cultural like focus on growth rather than because growth is measurable, quality is not.
That is true. That is true. Now, I will tell you something, Trent. Occasionally, I do like to experiment. I'm sure you've suspected this of me,
Will,
for a long time.
You're not wearing pants right now, are you?
That is not important to the discussion or the topic. There have been time to time where I've been like, well, what are these things? What do they do? What benefits do they get you? Like, for right now, until the year that I paid for is paid up, you'll see that either I or NetHeads are, what's the term? Validated, when we got a blue check mark next to our name.
Oh, yeah, verified.
Verified. So that, same thing on the Dumpster Fire platform of X-Twitter. I did that just as an experiment to see, does this get you, what are the benefits it gets you? Does it get you any higher traffic?
Yeah.
If that gets you traffic, I'm telling you right now, it does not. At least not in my experience. Now, however, when I do say that I experiment in an attempt to see what happens, there have been times that I did, in fact, try to drive traffic to our videos. Okay, so here on YouTube. And what I saw from that is that I would see an increase in views, but very little in conversions to other things. And just because they're seeing it doesn't mean they're sticking with it. Which, that in itself is actually a problem of the product I'm attempting to advertise and the audience I'm advertising it to. Okay, because that is and that's one of the things too that I think content creators don't either realize, or they get big somewhere. Like let's take
Right.
my minute case. They get big somewhere, and they get frustrated because they can't translate that to other platforms.
Yeah.
I think NetHeads has like 300 followers on Instagram or 700, and I've barely over like 1,000. And I'm sorry, those numbers are a bit gauche for anybody that's like, asshole, I'm at 29. Don't be a dick. I get it. But one of the things that became blatantly obvious to me just through you saying, yeah, it's that platform, it's engineered for that. Your content isn't going to translate to different audiences. How do I know this? I've been trying to push a podcast on YouTube since 2016. And the funniest thing and the dumbest thing, Trent, is that it took an AI experiment to actually make me realize I'm not practicing what I preach. Because for years, easily 5, I've been saying the definition of what a podcast is not the same.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Just culturally, what you and I remember and like fell in love with, the RSS feed that went directly to a device doesn't exist anymore. Right?
I mean,
it exists, but not in like the popular vernacular, right? Like if we were talking to a podcast and that's what we're referring to, they'll be like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Look, I'm sorry to get off the topic of you don't own your own audience, but seriously, wake up, guys. You don't own your own audience. And the other thing that you have to realize is that the thing that you do one place isn't going to work at the other. So you've got to understand where you need to put your time. And then you need to understand how you either need to tailor what you're doing in order to appeal to that platform to attempt to get growth, or you're going to have to face the reality that you're going to have to do original content on that platform until you figure out what you do hits there. You can't translate one thing to another. And I will say, AI gives you an amazing ability now in order to attempt to try to crack that nut. And I will say, quite honestly, other than probably through news feeds and just the very zeitgeist of what happened when Taylor Swift started attending NFL football games, if I were not on TikTok, I would not have ever been aware that Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce do a podcast. Okay? I would not have known they have the New Heights podcast. That's right. Welcome, 92%ers. Listen, I would not be aware, but what did they do? They do their podcast, audio, and YouTube, just like we all do, right?
Yeah.
Well, not like we all do, because they don't go, and that's the thing too. I'm not sure we should really be doing live anymore. If we want to continue to do this, and for whatever reason, try and do growth. But they record, they put together a polished product, they put that out. Okay. We record, we put our draft up for everybody, and then we polish the final side for the people that matter, or for the public and the people that matter, meaning there is a unique version of this show that has even more stuff that is an exclusive for our Patreon subscribers. And again, it's like customizing content for the platform. Let's put some unique stuff at the beginning and end.
Yeah, exactly. And every platform has its own culture too.
Mm-hmm.
And the platforms might be seemingly in function identical.
Yeah.
But the culture's different. And so like you might have the exact same product on what are seemingly exact same platforms, just different names, and it doesn't translate. Happened to a really good friend of mine. He had a song on the first season of Grey's Anatomy, their like soundtrack, and this is the MySpace era. Freaking took off. He had millions of subscribers on MySpace, was crushing it. MySpace tanked, and he's since to today still lamenting how he's never been able to recapture that audience.
Right. Yeah. And that's the problem with social media is it sometimes, occasionally, I think it always gives everybody just that little taste. Right. And what happens if they capitalize on it, you might be able to get that. They'll give you another taste again if you're sliding off. But, Opus Clip is another thing I experimented with. And that attempts to try and take your one product to diversify it. I'm assuming, could be wrong, but I'm assuming that that's what like New Heights did, because that's how I found them on TikTok. And so they would have a quick bit to grab you at the front, and then it continues on through it. Like you might actually be doing a time jump. It's like preview clip of hot moment, rest of show. But still, it was a good polished product. And I'd like to thank the New Heights podcast as well. Yes, Travis, Jason, I'm sure you guys will never hear this. However, I want to thank you for staying strong in keeping the head on camera in use. What do I mean by that?
Yeah.
I'm staring straight down the barrel. Trent's staring straight down the barrel. You see the room behind him. You see the cultivated view behind me. What you don't see is what has become the norm in podcasting, which is that I'm going to describe any single podcast you may have seen, guys. It's got one of two rooms. It's a well-looking room, probably kind of modern home library look, if you will. You know what I mean? Kind of a book lounge kind of feel, or a lounge kind of feel. It's gonna have one of two things. It's gonna have a big table in it, and you're gonna have chairs at either end. And no matter what chat you get, the host is gonna be talking to the other host, and you're gonna be looking straight down the barrel of the middle of a 45-degree angle. So they're gonna be more at the corner of the table. You're gonna see a curated shelf of things behind them on one side, and on the other side, you're gonna see good-looking shit from the rest of the room. The other view is gonna be the exact same thing. All right. I don't know what podcast spawned this. I don't know which one it was that became the benchmark, but it started this and it's just not stopping.
Yeah.
And so I want to thank the Kelsey brothers for keeping the head on going. You're talking to the audience, for God's sakes. Look down the camera.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like it's almost like a shortcut for validity or like trustability, right? Like like this, you and I do it. I mean, primarily, or when we originally first started doing it, even when we were back on Skype before we were even recording it, right? Just to like see each other while we were doing it. It was this setup, right? And it's the way news people do it, right? Like news over the internet. But if you have like a magazine show, right? That's that second shot, right, where you've got the two cameras POV over someone's shoulder looking at someone else at like a 45, 90-degree angle. And that's supposed to be like even more trusted because it's more well produced, right? And so it's like this shortcut for like, you can trust us. Look at how much thought we've put into this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, but look, there's a reason why certain brands may make a knockoff of another brand, and things are going to look similar to the point where they can't be litigated against, because you want that association of success by emulating that which is working. So, yeah, but the thing that is, like, I wonder, because I swear to every one of them are there a lot of small soundstage places in, like, Los Angeles and across the country that are now getting a lot more business? I'll tell you right now, Trent, if I were much closer to San Francisco, I would be establishing a series of podcasting sound stages.
Yep. In fact, were I not in Logan, say like if I moved to Salt Lake, I could have my pick of any of the podcast studios that have popped up for people. That's all I do. You need a podcast? Come in. We'll create it for you. We'll host it for you. We'll do the whole thing. You just have to show up. And we'll make it happen for you. Like there are so many of those studios in Salt Lake. It also ties into like the weirdly high proportion of influencers that come out of Utah, among other things. But yeah, it's totally a thing.
Hey.
In fact, to the point where a great comedian who only tries to troll people set up a fake one of these studios and got a congressman to do a podcast through him, and got footage of him saying the most crazy racist shit you could ever imagine. So yeah, it's a thing now.
Why are there so many influencers coming out of the Utah area?
Oh, I could go on about this for days.
Okay, well let's stick a pin in that.
Yeah, let's. Oh, I don't know, man. I'd go on about that forever.
Well, awesome. Guess what your next show topic's going to be about, man? Influencers, where do they come from? How can they be stopped?
Yeah, seriously.
Well, it's
As everything that's happening in Minneapolis took place because of a Utah influencer.
oh man. I was about to bring up another case, and I'm not sure if this was happening, if this is a Utah area thing as well. Like recently, the new trend in why can't I say the word
Documentation. Documentaries.
Thank you.
There we go. We got there.
Whoa, documentaries. It's just like I kept getting halfway through the word and was like,
Yeah.
that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
This makes no sense. I'm trying to say a word, but I don't think the word is real anymore. Anyway, there seems to be the new trend in documentaries coming up, where it's always focused on some type of social media influencer controversy. And there are so many of them that, like, I wasn't even aware of. Like, there's an entire group of kids that are part of a church. There's a documentary about that. There's one about this woman who was basically turned her kid into an influencer and her kid's friends into influencers. Then part of the friends were like, the mom is creepy as hell. And so, like, the factions broke off. And interestingly enough, this woman who made her daughter an influencer, once she turned 18, much in the vein of your hat, she went to a certain website and in the first day made more money than probably you and I have collectively in the last 10 years.
Yep. Yeah.
But that's the thing with the culture, that it's always these little cases of things that happen that I think make people think that influencer is a viable occupation when they're growing up. Much in the same way that my daughter, who is 22, she grew up in the area where the goal wasn't to be an influencer. What do you think it was the goal to be?
YouTuber?
Correct, sir.
So like gaming or just commenting on things on YouTube.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes, sir. I'm sure if I go back in her history, there are probably some My Little Pony videos where she's using, or Littlest Pep Shop videos.
Yeah.
Where she was probably emulating Cookie Swirl C or something along those lines.
Yeah.
All of that is muscle memory. I don't know if I just said words that really make sense.
That have significance.
Exactly. Because my kid, it was all like YouTube videos about Minecrafters and Littlest Pet Shoppers. And so, really, I guess what it really boils down to, right? What it all comes down to is if that little kid, Ryan, hadn't been videotaped playing with toys, we wouldn't be in this shit. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. Yep. Have you seen the Netflix documentary Evil Influencer?
I don't know if I've seen. My wife is into true crime. I don't know how many I've seen.
It's about the one where you had this influencer who eventually just took off from her husband, and they went to southern Utah and were living in a compound with another influencer, and they were abusing their children, all the while making these videos about the kids and about it is bonkers.
I wonder if that's the one about the. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Because there's another one that is probably something along the line of Momfluencer or something, where, again, in Utah, I think,
yep.
where a woman has her kids and she's actually abusing at least one of them, and instead of her husband being involved, it's like a co-conspirator woman or something.
Yeah. That's Jody Hildebrandt. Yeah, that's.
Oh, is this the same thing?
Yep, it's the same one.
Oh,
yep.
Okay, good. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. Oh my God! And look how much these things are part of our vernacular now.
Yep. Well, and it's interesting because of that now there are at least in Utah and who knows, because Utah legislation is beyond wacky. It makes zero sense. So who knows whether or not this will ever get passed. But there has been legislation drafted to protect children from these sorts of horrible situations where they're being used as props for the influencer communities.
Yeah, man.
But yeah. Anyway, just super interesting and very weird. And again, so spot on for weird Utah influencing stuff.
Look, man, if it weren't for the fact of what it could do to her ego and potentially all of the people in the world I wouldn't want seeing her, I could probably very well do the same thing with my daughter Blair, because she is an absolute character, adorable. I mean, that kid could make me... One of my highest ranked videos is this kid going to 7-Eleven with me on Bring Your Own Container Day? Millions and millions of views.
Uh-huh.
All right? I saw the success. I stepped away, Trent. I knew the right thing to do.
Absolutely. You think about like we I mean, I at least am I will get like there are some clickbaity things that always like suck me in, and one of them is like where is this child actor now? And it's never a good story, right?
No.
You like very rarely do even the success stories are success out of misery. And it'll be interesting to see if there's a correlated trajectory for these young influencers who have to like go through this arc of like what happens when you're no longer an influencer. Like, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
It will be very interesting. Well, you know what would never creep you out, Trent?
Uh,
What'll never creep you out and what will never let you down. Do you know what it is, Trent?
I don't, Will. What's that?
It's the Neo Dipped build plate from Sliceworks, available for most major brand 3D printers. This thing, it's triple dipped or even more. I don't know what Neo dipping is, but what I can tell you is if you're a 3D printer and you're hearing my voice, not a 3D printer itself, but a person who 3D prints, I want to be clear. I'm not talking to machines for no good reason. If you are in the 3D printing realm and you have a 3D printer at home, an PLA, an FLM printer, I think is what they're called. One of the most frustrating things is bed plate adhesion, getting the temperature just right in order to ensure that your 3D print sticks to that build plate and isn't going to fall down and cause failures in the print, and you wind up with a giant pile of spaghetti. Let me tell you something. These Neo Dip build plates from Sliceworks are sticky when they get warm, and they get stickier, so you can use lower temperatures and still ensure clear bed adhesion and have more successful prints. These things in the long run will save you more money in frustration and lost filament than anything else. All you got to do is go to the link in our bio and then use the code ThatWillWilkins at checkout for an extra 5% off your purchase. You can get build plates. They have got excellent quality filaments, including the red, white, and blue package made right here in the U.S. So that way you can get some now to get ready for making your 3D prints in the 4th of July. Not to mention, they have also got an awesome subscription box. The Ultimate Pro Slice Box is an amazing thing. You get 2 unique filaments a month. You also get 1 bonus item. And you get candy and stickers. That's a benefit. And anybody that 3D prints knows you can never have too much filament. And why not get a nice preview of filament that you will use? Maybe you'll buy it again. But this way, you're sending it to yourself as a gift or one of your friends. Again, link in bio, that Will Wilkins at checkout, extra 5% off. Sliceworks, we love you. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Now, Trent.
Will, just because I looked it up and I'm like, oh, that actually makes sense. The Neo is not in terms of like Latin for new.
Right.
The Neo is next gen epoxy overlay.
Well, thank you very much for telling me the thing I should have known.
No, well, that's the thing. Like, I had to like do kind of a deep dive into it to find out, because it's referenced a lot, and there's a lot of companies using the technology. But it's basically like a new gen of like old tech would be like powder coating, but it's an epoxy instead of a coat.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, because the thing is, you got to also remember these things are a consumable item. Or I'm not sure what the term is for something. It's not going to last forever.
Right.
What is that? Is that a...
Yeah, consumables.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But I have had, since I got my first A1 combo, I've had their first gen of triple dipped build plate on my Bamboo A1. I loved it so much the minute I got another Bamboo A1, I instantly ordered another one. When I got the Creality K2 Plus, that's when I got into the Neo Dips, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. But those two, they still work. But the Neo Dips impressed me so much, I just ordered 2 of them.
Yep.
For here. And now, I got a no-lose situation. If I put magnets on the wall next to the printers, take these old build plates, stick them there. If I'm printing a lot of things, I don't got to worry about cleaning off the build plate. Pop this one off, pop that one down. I am cooking with gas, my friend.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, people that have been long-term with the show may know that, I dabble in 3D printing and selling superhero helmets. Deadpool and Wolverine, Daredevil. Those are the two that I kind of mark it in, right? Because with Daredevil, you can have two variants. Now you can have the black or the red. But here's the thing. Here's the sad thing that I sat down and figured out, Trent. Because, everyone's always like the side hustle. How can I turn this money into more money, right? And don't get me wrong, okay? Every little bit helps. Like, even what I'm about to talk about, that would be something that would be very handy, in handling credit card debt, as long as I'm applying all of the payment to consumables and the like and making sure that I'm accurately determining what the profit is and then reinvesting that. But I sat down and figured out if I were lucky enough to be able to get 4 sales per week, if I subtract the cost of materials and let's say a little bit of electricity and any extra little bit of work I have to put into it, right? I run at about $40 profit per helmet, like realistically. But okay,
Yeah.
Which sounds great. So $40 of profit, 4 times a week, $160, right? If I could pull that off consistently. So what's 160, Trent, times 52?
Maths.
Yeah, that's why you're going and I'm just pulling up $8,320.
Okay, I was gonna say 7,500, so not far off, but yeah.
Close. $8,320. So that's that's for an entire year for your effort. But the question is the trade-off, right?
Right.
The hustle culture, because like,
because they're not gonna sell themselves.
And again, yeah. Well, and eBay's going to take their cut and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But like when you think about it, I now that is a decent amount of money. If I walked up to you and said, "Would you like $8,320 worth of cash right now?" You would say,
"Yes." Yes,
okay,
and
okay, and then I say, "Okay, but I'm going to give it to you once a week for the next 52 weeks until you get the total. I'm going to give you a piece of it for the next 50 weeks until you get the total."
Yeah.
You still be thankful, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I looked at this and I'm like, do I really want to put this effort in? Which is sad, but I got to tell you, it's also dumb, because let me tell you, I shouldn't tell you what goes into printing the helmets, but let's just say that the majority of the perceived labor on them is all by a machine that's doing something while I'm doing all kinds of other stuff. Right? So I don't know why I shit on this price to begin with. I don't know why I got all upset about it. I'm like, maybe I don't want to do this.
But then you've also got to even if your price does include the shipping, there's the time it takes to actually package it, wrap it, print out a label for it, schedule for someone to come pick it up, or go and oh shit, I need to go drop off the thing today. Shit! Did you see my eyes? Just like, oh shit!
Oh god, that's got to go out today. If I don't, I'm not going to get my money back. That was the kind of realization. This is your last day on that Amazon return, isn't it? You put it off. You couldn't take your ass to Kohl's fast enough, could you? No. Oh, I don't like going to Kohl's. It's that weird, creepy old Mervyn's vibe still that somehow is living.
I remember Mervyn's. Oh my god!
Right? It's. I mean, I know it's not Kohl's now, but it's Kohl's now.
Yeah. Oh,
well, and that's what Mervyn's was. JCPenney was Kohl's, and now it's just Amazon. At which, by the way, I have a funny story to tell you. And by the way, if I wasn't ever clear, Opus Clip will take your video clips and it will break it down into, like, I can take this episode of NetHeads, I can dump it into Opus Clip, or I can just point it to the YouTube video if I wanted to. And it then says, okay, well, based on everything I see within here, here's some rough edits on what I view as usable content within here. And they give it some type of mythical, magical virality rating, right? And maybe it's in comparison against all the others. It's like, out of all the boring shit you said, this is the most likely to hit, and moves on. And it lets you schedule the videos.
Oh,
you can connect all the platforms, you can schedule them. And the reason why I say this is because, like, if you're like, if you feel like you don't have time to make content, or you've only got one good day to sit down and make content, that means that you can just, like, put together all of your stuff all in long form. You could load it in an Opus Clip, and you could even have it generating the content for you. It also does its titles. Everyone that's a follower of NetHeads is probably very well aware of this, because I automatically scheduled onto our TikTok, our Instagram, our Facebook, video clips from our last episode just to see like how easy it was. If I sat down and tried to create even one of the videos they did, I guarantee you, because of the way I obsess over details sometimes, let's say a 1 minute and 4 second clip will have taken me 7 hours to edit. I took last week's show, put not an ad, by the way, but tell them I sent you somehow. Tell their chatbot NetHeads sent you. But you drop the clip in there, and it cuts the whole thing, does the captioning and everything. You determine what it is. You might need 10 seconds of cleanup, maybe 15 if you're fastidious, or you're like, you know what, this cut is good, but I could see trimming it here, or you're trying to cross that 1 minute threshold. Adjustments, right?
Yeah.
I was able to cut together 7 clips with captioning, schedule them to publish to all of the major content platforms, and walk away in 1 hour.
Oh, that's insane.
With a 1 hour video clip.
That is crazy. That is like literally that is crazy.
Yeah, so why and you're like, well, it costs money. But that kind of leads us back to everything you've brought up. It's always about money, right?
Right.
So, and like you're telling me now, which I often wonder, more so now that you've said this, like how much a content creator's budget goes into the required marketing of your product.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So like you said, like everyone has like that flash that gets them noticed, right? And then it's a matter of like, well, do I want to stay up with this? Do I want to maintain this level of like social power that has been given me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of costs money to maintain it. A colleague of mine, 2 weeks ago, her husband works for a research organization that looks at wild birds, and he was out looking at wild birds in Wyoming, and he happened upon a herd of wild horses. And it's been a very weak winter, and normally these horses would be like, skeletal, almost dead, like and not visible at all. They'd be like sheltered somewhere. But since there's no snow, they're just out like running around and playing. The videos that he took garnered over 3 million views. It's insane. And he went from having like 25 views on his like Instagram stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I was talking with him the other day because he's like, what do I do with this? I'm like, well, it's a choice you just need to make. Is this something you want to do now, or are you just happy with like the occasional residual that might come in off of this? Because it's a job, right? Like, and whether or not your AI is doing stuff for you, you need to be thinking about it all the time, right? As far as like content or what I'm going to be talking about or ways to improve or whatever. You know what I mean? If you're viewing it as a job, it's like the Stephen King mentality. You have to like go in, shut the door, and work.
Yeah, and that's very true. And I think that kind of brings me to the final point that I really should have made 20 minutes ago, but through the beauty of editing and the video clip you see about this, it's going to come one right after the other. No big deal. And that's the fact that when it comes to content creation, look, guys, before, first of all, you quit your day job, please make sure that you're making more money than your day job. Okay, that's going to be the first thing I'm going to tell you. But in this day and age, also remember, you don't own the platform, so you don't own your audience. So make sure you are doing something in any way to attempt to collect together that information, whether you're setting up a Substack, a newsletter, or anything. You're going to have to put in time in order to do this. You're going to have to put in time to try and drive your audience to places so that way you can know who your audience is. The other thing you're going to have to realize is you're going to have to customize your content for each platform until you have natural growth. According to Trent as well, once you hit it big, you're going to have to start budgeting money for marketing to continue growth and perceived success. And you're definitely going to have to you're going to want to spend money on some tools like Opus Clip, for example, because they are going to save you time while being able to give you the product that you need to cut out. Because if you don't, we're coming to the very final part of this. Don't think that content creation means you roll out of bed, fix your hair, start videotaping, and you're going to be a success. I'm telling you something right now, okay? Unless you are a skinny, bubbly, vivacious-looking woman, even a reasonably cute woman with auburn hair, okay? I'm not sending out my fetishes here. I'm just trying to make examples. My point is, unless you're a pretty girl or a guy who looks like he's been cut from God's own wood, you're not going to just naturally grow, okay? I mean, you could be naturally funny, and that will help, but you're going to have to put in time. It is still a grind. It's still a job. You can't earn money in life without putting in effort. So don't think you're just going to start doing, or when you start getting a little bit of that taste, don't think it's just going to automatically come, and don't drive your money into any schemes, ideas, or unknowns. If you're going to test anything out, test it in a limited capacity before you make a financial commitment.
That's a really good point.
Right.
Yeah.
And also just diversify your audience. You're going to have to put in time, and you're going to have to put in that hustle to grow your Instagram audience the same way you did on the platform you got success. You're going to have to do the same thing with your YouTube audience. Maybe a Twitch channel, and you're streaming 1 hour a day or something. You're at least doing something. Am I going to put any effort right now into Facebook or X? No, I'm going to focus on Instagrams, Reels. I'm going to focus on YouTube Shorts. I'm going to focus on TikTok. And the other thing too is, much as I have been guilty about, I've been married to one format. I've been trying to get people to grow my podcast by putting it out in a oversaturated market and pushing it on platforms where the structure of it just is not built for that. So make sure you know the platform too. These are just all things I want to put out there because you don't own your audience. All of this is built on sand, and there could be a tide that comes in and washes it all away in a heartbeat. So keep that in mind, please. Which now made me forget the next thing I wanted to talk about, unfortunately. But that often happens here on NetHeads. But Trent, you know what? We're going to address two things. One, you may have noticed things are formatted a little different. You may have noticed I just made a big speech about something. And you may have noticed that, look, I'm going to let you guys in on a little thing. We're trying something new, and we're trying it for 6 weeks. Now, Trent, I did not tell you this ahead of time, but I am telling you now that we are going to do this 6-week experiment without acquisition of views, without buying subscribers from some very questionable subscription lab out of several different countries. We're just going to see what happens naturally. We are taking advice from a consultant. We are not spending money on this. Again, I'm sticking to my own rules.
Okay.
We're trying something different here on NetHeads for 6 weeks. And the logic is we are trying to appeal more to a YouTube audience.
Okay.
Or a video platform audience. And
Sure.
obviously, we are what would be considered long form, not short form. We're using short form to try and help grow.
Right.
By taking the one thing and splitting it up. If we don't see something in 6 weeks, and unfortunately that kind of sets it, this one sets the tone, but patterns can be identified even in the short term. If we don't see improvement, then NetHeads as we know it will be done. I'm telling you this right now.
Wait,
yes.
when you say as we know it, does that mean that it could still live on in a reimagined form?
I'm not sure.
Okay, all right. No. Hey, we don't need to know. We've got 6 weeks to
I'm not sure. You got 6
work.
weeks.
Yeah.
And Trent's just like, this is way part-time for me. I'm not really vested in this, but okay. Because I'm an addict. Something will be here, and I'm going to drag you kicking and screaming with me. I recognize that. But the other thing we're never going to do, Trent, because I absolutely love doing this now. From week to week, I love doing this. And that is where we take my obsession with 3D printing and 3D printing completely pointless and useless things. And then I'm going to present to you the object, and as though the object were turning to you.
Yep.
And asking a very specific question.
Yep. What is my purpose?
So the question is, what is my purpose? That's right. Every single episode, I 3D printed something during the week, and we present it to Trent, and we see if he can identify.
What is my purpose?
So as you can see, he's getting really tight up in the screen, but unfortunately, we cannot focus on him as I demonstrate the object, because this is giving him the largest possible view on his end. Because I don't know if you guys know this, poor Trent is stuck with seeing the exact same thing you see. So that way, if we're showing pictures and we can talk about them, or we're looking at video clips, we can talk about them. You know what I mean? It makes him a part of the experience. He knows what's going out into production. He's getting the live feed. So when he sees, like if I'm right now, Trent's seeing himself, right, Trent? That's just,
Yep.
that's all you.
Yep.
So I'm holding the object up. Can you see anything other than
I
you?
just see my baby blues.
Exactly. And no, we're not like trying to prove that he's not getting advance notice or he has some type of telepathic powers. We're not doing that. No. I'm just trying to make the point that he's looking crazy like this because I haven't done this yet. So Trent, I'm going to show you the object. And again, I often say a lot of these tend to be layups, right? Recently. And this one is no exception. However, I will guarantee you my annual bonus. You will not correctly identify what this is.
Okay.
Or
Bold
what its
statement.
purpose is.
Bold
In the
statement.
long run,
What is my purpose?
unless I've told you about this crazy plan, which you have to reveal
Right. I would.
once I show it, if I have spoken to you of this casually.
Yeah.
You ready?
I am. Hit me.
Okay, guys, what I'm holding up is an object that at the moment as I hold it has two black ends and then a bunch of silver in between. The object looks very similar to something in the real world, so it may be a layup. Trent, I'm going to ask you to describe what you're seeing.
Well, what I'm seeing is it looks like a cage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
And not Nick Cage. But you know what it looks like?
It's kind of a 3D printer protector.
Yeah, it looks like a shark cage. You know, like the divers go in and take pictures
Okay.
of like it's that same like rectangle shape. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna guess. Here's what I think its purpose is.
Okay.
Here it's just a guess. We'll see if I'm right or wrong.
Okay.
It is a holder for external hard drives.
Wow. Okay, so what I'm holding in my hand, the revelation, and to answer your question on the accuracy of your guess, Trent. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Or I could have hit you with this one instead. No, but what I'm holding in my hand, I'll tell you what the model is intended for, and I'll tell you what the use is. When you see the use, I hope you are going to laugh as much as I did when I came up with this absolutely stupid, pointless idea. And I will tell you right now that the overall scope of this project has been intermittent throughout the last entire week. Much in the same way that printing the Scatus knockoff panels behind me, like those took time. This didn't take time, but it was a quantity issue.
Right.
So what you're seeing right now is a model that is intended as a comical but not fully functional because you could easily break it open. It's intended as a comical phone jail. So the idea is at your family gathering, your party, whatever, everyone puts their phones in here. We lock it up. We have fun socializing, making eye contact and the like.
Yeah.
And we're people, not, like every holiday gathering. I've done my required 30 minutes of speaking and I'm now scrolling on my phone in the corner, waiting for the goddamn mashed potatoes to be ready.
Yep.
Look, man.
Yep.
Look, Thanksgiving happens the same way every year. How do you not get the timing right?
I know, dude.
Okay? The bird always takes a certain amount of time. You always got to
Always.
prep things in advance, but
Yep.
why can't you coordinate it so it's all done at once? Anyway, sorry. I don't know what happened there. I blacked out. However, my use of it is going to be probably the most unconventional. And I will say that for the project, the remainder that's left over now is to 3D print little faux padlocks. Okay?
Yeah.
So those remain. I'm going to do this off camera, though, however, and I'm just going to tell you a little story. Trent, I'm sure you are aware of a lot of crazy fads and phases that happen. You're familiar with like the Beanie Babies.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
familiar
Yeah.
with the Tickle Me Elmo
Yeah. Yes.
and how things can become a mania and it never becomes understood or you don't know the reason why.
Right.
Well, Trent, my daughter got involved in one of those crazes, so now I have like 9 of these things. And what has happened since the fad happened and the things were acquired, it was the same thing that I think happens a lot with my daughter. She has the FOMO, so she wants to think that she's a part of it, but then it just fucking sits there like the expensive toy you bought because she's still playing with the cheap little shit.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And you're wondering, what in the goddamn hell?
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I want a creative way to have these in my office and display them so they're not just sitting around gathering dust. So in my case, Trent, instead of a phone jail, It is a Labubu lockdown.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All I see is like an inverted troll.
Okay, let me take him out of the cage.
What is
Folks, guys,
a
in case you were
Labubu?
wondering, who's the last person on Earth that doesn't know what a Labubu is, I present him right here to you. And by the way, look at how I nailed indicating to you, knowing it would be backwards.
I have never heard of a Labubu.
Okay, so these are, I don't know where the Labubu portion comes from. There's a company named Pop Mart, and they make a product based on their line of Little Monsters. Little Monsters is what they're called. But this is known as a Labubu. And when you look at it, it is some ugly looking little kind of doll thing, but it's intended to be like a purse hanger. It's got a keychain.
Okay.
For some reason, these things became a fad, and I think it's because of the gambling nature of how you can acquire them online. Obviously, they got popular and supply got limited, and I think we're now at the point of oversaturation, so everyone's going to realize, why the hell are we going crazy spending ridiculous money on these things?
Yeah.
Wait, where was I going with that? The gambling nature. So what Pop Mart does is they'll do a drop of their products, of their things, right? And then the moment that they drop them, the boxes show up in like a virtual carousel, and the boxes within them. Because what happens when you buy these things is a box of them is 6 smaller boxes, and they are blind boxes. They clearly identify every one of the ones that are in the series, and within that package, you're going to get one of each of the series guaranteed, unless you may be short one, because each one of their product lines also has one rare item. So for like every box, or for every 82 boxes are made, this limited run, this chase figure, if you will, is included in the box. So one of the regular 6 is not, right? So you could actually get almost a full collection, get the rarest one, and you're still shit out of luck for one more.
Right.
And when you're doing the blind boxes, all you can say is, I want this box. And then you can see then after you see this box, you buy it and you can see what's in it. And it's a gambling style. So everybody comes in there and like, you click that box. If you're lucky to get it, you're holding it for like 10 minutes until you either decide you're purchasing it or you're passing on it. And then it'll become so there are people that are just like, it's like slot machines. You know, you're sitting there, you're click, and you can't click too much or you'll get kicked out. So you see what I mean? It's a whole gambling thing. I think that's why they got popular. Needless to say, my daughter got caught up in the craze. I found the best economical way to go through this, to suffer through this. And now, because of that, now we have like 9 of these things laying around. So, as you know, I have built my Scatus wall behind me. We've already mentioned it.
Yes.
And I have special customized shelves, just the size, for the jails.
Yeah, there you go.
So once I start on the next, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this again project, which is I'm making more of these panels to go up one layer higher and then start going over and down. What you can't see off camera is that I have I'm starting to also have a full array of a place to put all of my helmets. My superhero helmets I talked about. They're hanging up there. But I want to move those a level up. They're a little low for me. You know, the claustrophobia, bumping my head into the stuff's kicking in. And plus, they take up a bit of space. So I want to do one more layer up so I can move the helmets up. And then in between each helmet, I'm going to be putting one of these little Labubus in the lockdown. Is it a good use of my time?
But the name is Labubu. It sounds like, God, I don't even know. It just sounds so like childlike.
By the way, I just want to
baby
reflect.
Talk, Labubu.
I just want to take a moment to, first of all, recognize this week's Patreon supporter of the week. By the way, it's something we always do as well when I actually remember it. And this particular week's Patreon supporter that we are highlighting, shining a spotlight on as I continue to scroll, hoping and praying that I can come to it somewhere. I think it's Chris Duncan, but I could be wrong. Yes, Chris Duncan. So Chris Duncan,
thanks, Chris.
Thank you very much for your support. We honor you. We cherish you. We speak your name. Thank you for being one of our Patreon supporters and enjoying all of that extra bonus-free content we're starting to put out. So I did our first Touchpoint Tuesday, Trent. Granted, it was on Wednesday this last week, but an exclusive bit of content for our Patreon supporters there.
Our Patrophiles.
There you go. Fair enough.
I don't know if that's the thing.
But I want to take a moment to also shout out the people that have been joining us during our live taping for the chat, including Batpool90. I know Buddy the Elf, Zach Byerly, Miranda Janelle, that fracking cat. Thank you guys so much.
And I
just want to point out during that conversation, Buddy the Elf screamed he doesn't know what a labubu is. How, Trent? Miranda Raglan saying, I envy Trent sometimes.
Yeah, like seriously, I'm still blown away. Like, no
Buddy the Elf saying, Trent must be Patrick Star. He lives under a rock. I mean, fair, right?
Yeah.
Guys, I think we finally driven this one into a wall. I want to thank you for sitting down with us. Brace yourselves, guys. 6 weeks. We'll see what happens. Really looking forward to that. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your comments about this new, slightly adjusted format of the show in the comments below. Please be sure to check out Trent. Trent, where's all the places they can find you?
If you just go to just Google a part of him and I'll show up, or just my name.
Or one of the other areas I often forget about and try to hit as well is Death Ray Media.
Oh yeah, I've got all my links to just deathray.media.
Exactly. And by the way, I got to say, one of the things that I really thought was funny about this week's topic and discussion is that it's a great thing because it's almost like we've got one person on the panel who's very passionate and concerned about the topic. And on the other side of this, we've got the guy who somehow is involved in like an online product and everything else, but also has like the least care or stakes in the world about how many people follow him.
Yeah. I like it's like I'm the anti. I'm like you're matter and I'm antimatter. And we're both working together to like hold space in its place, but we're like from different sides of the center.
I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. Trent, you're very similar in this way to the superhero that was created by Revelstoke Jen, which is the the reluctant drifter.
Yep.
Hey man, you want to ride? No, I'm fine. It's a long journey, but I'll make it.
Yeah, no, I'm hitching, but I don't know, maybe I don't know. We'll see.
And hopefully before next week, we'll be able to figure out your microphone issue.
Yeah.
Instead of channeling you through the same microphone that they made the announcements for the crashing of the Hindenburg. It sounds like just give me a good
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Either that, or you could start telling me, give me the newsreel about Nazis.
This just in from Berlin.
Oh my gosh. Okay, before NetHeads, Patreon followers. Sorry, this is the tail end and really dragging, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, bonus content for this week, because we're got to do this really quick. Trent's got to get something shipped. But the only thing it's going to be is Trent very quickly looking up one of the newsreels as they were dictated in the Captain America, the First Avenger, and he's going to give us one of those. Because this is an opportunity we cannot pass up. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Don't forget, Google a part of him or Death Ray Media, and you'll find everything you want about Trent. You can go to thatwillwilkins.com for everything about me. Chris Duncan, thank you for your support. And do not forget, for the best in build plates, filament, and subscription box you would die for, or your 3D printing friend would die for, be sure to go to thatwillwilkins.com, click the SliceWorks link, use thatwillwilkins at checkout, get 5% off your purchase. Which, interestingly enough, 4-Color PJ was kind enough to attempt to do that, but because the build plate was on sale, the bonus code would have taken him under the free shipping threshold. Excuse me. So, which is really great because it means for our metrics, because that's what I've been obsessed about lately, Trent. For our metrics, that means that we had a click-through without a conversion. Which, by the way, that's awesome. People love that. Oh, so they came here and did nothing. Great. Anyway, guys, until next time, my name is Will.
My name's Trent.
And I don't even know if the dude says it still, but if he doesn't, we'll be back.
Soon.
Yes, we will.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker.
Signing off. Resume normal functions in 3, 2, 1.